It's important to know that these places near the coast, they can, of course, flood pretty much any time that you get an elevated king tide. But places like the Outer Banks in particular, as well as down in Charleston, because of the elevation, of course, how the areas jut out into the sea, they can see that higher risk. This is Hatteras Village here in the upper right-hand corner. You can see Orange Inlet, Ocracoke, and Buxton. If you feel like you've been seeing these same views along Highway 12 more so this season, you certainly have, because this has really been an area along the Outer Banks that we've talked about a lot because of really consistent impact so far this season. Now, the only official landfall, of course, we had was Tropical Storm Chantal back the 4th of July weekend. But Aaron, just off the coastline, of course, we also had impacts there from Umberto and Imelda. And so what is going on with these areas? Well, remember, the Outer Banks, they jut out, so they're closer to the center of circulation, which means they're going to have higher impacts. And with the low continuing to move up the East Coast, this is going to be the case over the next few days. So while I think tonight and early tomorrow morning will likely be the worst impacts, remember, it's pretty much all of the Outer Banks at a highest risk of that overwash of 3 to 5 feet, gusty winds close to 50 to 55 miles an hour. Again, lesser impacts here shaded in orange, and that will include Hilton Head all the way toward Norfolk, Virginia, and then lower impacts toward the Raleigh-Durham area. If you're thinking of I-95 corridor, it's east of there that has the majority of the impacts from this system. But still heading into tomorrow morning, look at these winds with the low just off the coast here of Myrtle Beach and Wilmington. We're looking at winds gusting up to tropical storm force. That's 39 miles an hour or higher for the Outer Banks. Again, notice Hatteras 44, so that's even higher. And again, this is going to continue all throughout the day here on Sunday through the afternoon and into the early evening hours. Now, one important thing for us here in Charlotte is that we had our highest wind gusts yesterday and today around 25 miles an hour. Tomorrow, that could peak between 30 and 35. Now, that is a very minor change, but that's the difference between a very, very minor impact and if you put the trash can out, for example, it could be tipped over. It's not flying all the way into the neighbor's yard, but it certainly could be tipped over. So just be mindful. The cooler, the cloudy, the breezy conditions are all going to continue. And then we're going to get some rain. That's going to be the change too heading into Sunday as well. Think about the atmosphere here as a column. So right here, if this is the cloud, so see where the banner is above my head, that's the cloud. So rain's falling here. It's nice and moist, right? Because the rain is falling. But near the ground this time of year especially, it's really, really dry. So as the rain's trying to fall, it goes into a column of drier air and it dissipates. That's essentially what we've had all day today in the Carolinas. However, as it starts to move more and more moisture through that column, it will eventually saturate enough for rain to reach the ground. Now, this has been even slower a process than we expected. So while there's light rain moving through parts of Chesterfield and Richmond County right now, it's mostly not reaching the ground because that air is not saturated. By tomorrow morning, I think the air will be saturated enough for this rain to reach the ground. So if you have early church plans and you're getting up around 5, 6 o'clock, I would anticipate some areas of light to moderate rain. That will be mostly through the morning. By the early afternoon, we're looking at 12 o'clock here. A lot of this does start to lighten, so I still would anticipate clouds and areas of light drizzle, but the best chance that you will see rain here in Charlotte is going to be Sunday morning. We're mostly dry heading into Monday. Quick update here on what's happening in the tropics. Jerry is now a remnant area of low pressure and nothing to worry about. And we will be watching a new area of interest right now with a 40% chance of formation. But notice that trek up to the north and northeast is expected because when these systems form so far east, that's typically where they go. Here's the Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. So for tomorrow, as you're prepping for the Panthers game, I would be prepared tailgating wise for clouds, cool and breezy conditions, a little bit of rain, especially in the early half of the day. But things are rapidly improving by the afternoon, and by Tuesday, Wednesday, y'all, we're back near 80.
All right, thanks, Brittany.